I think we can all agree on that Nintendo games are fun, and in general are high quality games. You don't need a day one 50GB sized patch. Some games don't even need a patch at all and come almost flawless out of the box. Even if Nintendo as a company is absolute garbage, the developers working there are magicians. How is Donkey Kong Bonanza only 8.5GB in size? But I noticed a trend with a handful of Nintendo games. I wanted to talk about more than just one single point. One of them being that some Nintendo games always really exceed at 2 or 3 points, but everything else just seems like an afterthought. Mario and Luigi Brothership, for example, has incredible animations and some really cool battles. But the story and pacing is just absolutely horrendous. The world is about to end, but I'm forced to search for ingredients for a cake for two strangers that are about to marry, while also resolving some family issues. This is my problem, this isn't my job. Or also Tears of the Kingdom with the most nutty physics system, multiple systems, being performed on a chip from 2015. Have you seen the developers conference? And also some really great musical pieces. But man, if dungeons were the equivalent to high quality, well edited videos, those shrines are in comparison just YouTube shorts that only last for 30 to 60 seconds, like a quick dopamine hit. I mean, you don't even have to do anything for half of them. Don't get me started on the story and the Breath of the Wild sequel that isn't even aware of past events. Link Save the Who? Or Mario Strikers Battle League, one of the most awaited and disappointing games in my life. Animations are unparalleled, the gameplay is fun, but this is the most lacking game I have ever seen. This game has straight up only one single mode, and I don't usually say this, as a matter of fact I never say this, but even FIFA has more worth to it. Though I guess it's FC EA Sports now or something, it's in a game. But there's one problem that all these games have. Every single one of them don't feel rewarding to play. A game that showed it to me again is Mario Kart World, and on the other hand, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is a problem with not only Nintendo games, of course, that's an issue with more and more double and AAA games nowadays. Just to go back to some games I mentioned before, Mario and Luigi Brothership. If you go out of your way to backtrack and do some side quests, for 90% of the time, all that you will get are coins, mushrooms, syrups, you know, consumable items, worthless really. You may receive a bean that can alter your stats, or maybe an accessory, if you're lucky and it doesn't end up being one of those items whose only purpose is to be sold for even more coins. Or Tears of the Kingdom, where you get a battery or a wing from a shrine, or maybe a handle that will last for, I don't know, 50 hits. Or the side quests, or the caves that you can explore and receive 5 apples at the end, or if you're lucky, 100 rupees. These games have some very cool quests and some really cool ideas, which are kinda buried in, I think what you can call that is just padding. At the very least, I received a literal piece of crap for collecting 900 Koroks in Breath of the Wild, or a pretty much useless medallion for activating all light routes in Tears of the Kingdom. But in Mario Kart World, which has, I think it was 400 P-switches, 200 of those question marks that you can find on the floor, and also those peach coins, and whatever else you can find. I saw it from Awesome John Plays. You don't even get anything for collecting this garbage. Straight up garbage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you only get stickers for each of them, which you can only apply one of them at the same time onto your profile. Why? This must have taken so long. For what reason, really? Couldn't you have spent the time on some more cards or characters? or even a whole new mode like Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is pretty fun, man. I would rather have a new mode, a new way to play the game, than something that is essentially useless, pointless. There is no reason for them. Like, unironically, what's the point? Forza Horizon 4, which I'm playing from time to time, unfortunately, it got delisted some time ago. You have different seasons each week that affect the whole world. You can have over 750 cars. You can do regular races, dirt rally races, drag race, a battle royale mode. You have mini games like zombie mode, capture the flag, team king, and also in the overworld you can buy a taxi shop and start missions to get people from one place to another and try to do it as fast as possible. Or missions where you have to do stunts, help out a German lawyer with proving that certain unbelievable scenarios are possible. You know, to help his customers. Stuff like that. You always get cool cars as rewards too. You may also receive a level up from it, and you get a new car and new clothing for your avatar. In comparison, it seems like that they haven't even tried for Mario Kart World. I could go all out on it, and look, don't get me started on the sports games. They all lack any kinds of rewards. But honestly, I mean, it's not just about the rewards, but also about the experience. As an example, Clair Obscur, or Elden Ring, or Xenoblade, one of the Nintendo games, especially with 3 that is excelling here. Every game has secret optional areas with optional bosses, sometimes even with unique music playing during these bosses. And I still get a weapon or an accessory. Of course, different genre and all, but honestly, in this example, even if I never used this weapon or accessory during the entire playthrough, the experience getting there was sick. That alone was worth it in my opinion, but that kind of wonder just doesn't exist here, or there. Or, well, that's a little bit too harsh, but you know, just so I mentioned it, I don't hate Tears of the Kingdom. I have a lot of problems with this game, but it's an alright game, okay? If you genuinely hate a video game so much that you have to do multiple videos on these and just kinda complain left and right and tell everyone how much you hate these games, you have probably other problems. But if we talk about modern Nintendo, it's not just Xenoblade. 2D and 3D Mario always felt rewarding and always had an endgame content, having one last world or level for collecting everything that feels like a brutal challenge. Kirby also feels rewarding, usually offering extra hard challenges with a secret final boss at the end, or including some neat stuff that's just kinda nice to collect, like figurines of enemies, bosses, or companions. Luigi's Mansion 3, man, same thing. These set pieces alone were really cool to explore. Them having those puzzles in some rooms, that was always really neat. Pikmin 2! And dude, Metroid, both 2D and 3D, fire. But with the only exception being the mainline Mario games, and Pikmin, all of them aren't directly from Nintendo. The games I complained about, for the most part, are developed internally at Nintendo. I get this feeling that they focus too much on one thing with each game, and everything else just kinda gets added. May that be the abilities in Tears of the Kingdom, the animations in Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Mario Strikers Battle League, and the absolute useless P-switches in Mario Kart World. At least the other stuff looks nice. Which, you know, there aren't many games actually that are just fantastic across the board. Having a great narrative and world building, good gameplay which also feels good to play, good music and audio design, rewarding content, just where you feel that every single part of the game, like some thought was put into every single aspect of the game, and they actually cared enough to improve them all to a really good point. I went back to Hollow Knight 2 weeks ago and finally beat the boss I was stuck at a few years ago. Pushed through and have finally beaten the final boss. I mean, granted, There is still a lot of stuff to do in this game, hidden bosses and areas, and it was definitely not the final boss, I learned that already. But man, phenomenal game. Has it issues? Yeah, but it has so many good points that I'm willing to look past them all. Same with Clair Obscur, or Xenoblade, or Elden Ring, and so on. I just feel that some of them have so many missed opportunities, especially with a game like Mario Kart World that was supposed to have so much content that price tag was absolutely worth it. Lies. So many cool ideas that kinda never became reality. I wasn't able to do a reaction to Donkey Kong Bonanza because of the removal of all of my 4 wisdom teeth, but I'm better now, and have seen the direct in my own time. I wasn't sure at first with the first trailer, but after the direct, I'm actually hopeful and I'm looking forward to this game. What is your view on it all? Let me know in the comments, I'm very curious. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Goodbye folks, see you guys later.